everyone and welcome to my channel. I am currently living in the UK, but very soon I'll be moving to Luxembourg, and I thought on this occasion it might be good if I make a video sharing my research on the country and what you can possibly expect in case you're planning to move there. So without any further ado, let's get started. Luxembourg is a landlocked country in Western Europe. It is bordered by Belgium, Germany and France. Its capital, Luxembourg City, is one of the four official capitals of the European Union, together with Brussels, Frankfurt and Strasbourg. Its culture, people, and languages are highly intertwined with its neighbors, making it a mixture of French and German cultures. The country has a population of about 626,000 people, and 125,000 of them live in the capital city. The distance from one of its southernmost towns, Dudelange, to one of its northernmost towns, Weiswampak, is about 80 kilometers only, making it one of the smallest countries in Europe. First, we are going to discuss its climate and its landscape. Considering its latitude, Luxembourg has an oceanic climate with moderate to cool winters, moderate precipitation, and moderate to high cloud cover for more than 2/3 of the year. On average, the city gets 30 days of snow per year, and sometimes it's snowy even in April. The highest point of Grand Duchy of Luxembourg is Kneef at 560 meters, closely followed by Burgplatz at 559 meters, and Napoleonsgade at 554 meters. Berdorf is famous for being one of the tourist hotspots of Luxembourg and sits on wind-blown tablelands that back onto valleys containing the Black Ernst, the Sure, and the Eisbach rivers. These valleys are covered with footpaths, allowing you to take in the majesty of the landscape of Luxembourg. The area is also a home to over 3,000 acres of forest, and if you like rock climbing, then the hills here provide the perfect opportunity. Another popular site is the Haf-Rheimesch Nature Reserve. It is located at the base of the Schengen and Remich wine slopes, and is the place to come if you want to check out a range of flora and fauna. The site is formed on an artificial island where you can explore a well-preserved nature reserve with a range of galleries and informational material. The capital of Luxembourg, Luxembourg City, lies on the southern part of Luxembourg Plateau, a large early Jurassic sandstone formation that forms the heart of the Gotland, a low-lying and flat area that covers the southern 2/3 of the country. The city center of Luxembourg occupies a picturesque site formed around the narrow valleys of the Petrus and Alzette rivers. Although Luxembourg City is not particularly large, its layout is complex, as the city is set on several levels. It is subdivided into 24 quarters which cover the commune in its entirety. The quarters generally correspond to the major neighborhoods and suburbs of Luxembourg City, although a few of the historic districts, such as Bonnevoie, are divided between two quarters. Some places of interest include the Gothic Revival Cathedral of Notre Dame, the fortifications, Am Tunnel, the Casemates, the Neumünster Abbey, the Place d'Armée, the Dove Bridge, and the City Hall. Moving on to Luxembourg performs really well in many measures of well-being. It ranks top in income and wealth and above average in social connections, work-life balance, personal security, environmental quality, and many others. Its capital is the 26th most expensive city in the world, right after Tokyo and Paris and just before London. Single person monthly costs are estimated to be around 950 euros without rent, and you can rent out a one-bedroom apartment outside of the city center for between 1,200 to 1,500 euros. Three-course meal in a mid-range restaurant would cost you about 70 euros, and a bottle of wine bought from the grocery shop is usually around 10 euros. Although the country is one of the smallest in Europe, it used to suffer from major traffic jams. However, as of 1st of March 2020, all public transport in the country is free, including buses, trams, and trains. When it comes to your monthly utilities bill, you would expect to pay between 250 to 300 euros per month. The price includes electricity, heating, water, garbage disposal, and internet. If you want to buy a property in Luxembourg, you would have to be ready to pay between 7,000 to 10,000 euros per square meter. Of course, your salary will also be high, as the standard for the country is about 3,800 euros per month. That ranks the purchasing power of the residents of Luxembourg fourth in Europe, after those of the cities of Geneva, Zurich, and Frankfurt. Its GDP per capita in purchasing power standards was 2.61, higher than the average for the EU, and that's pre-Brexit. Speaking of GDP, services, especially banking and finance, account for the majority of the economic output. Specialists in those areas are often sought, but keep in mind that you will probably have to know some French or German, and in some cases even both languages on a very good level. Unemployment is relatively low, and it usually sits under 6%. Luxembourg is the second largest investment fund center after the United States and the most important private banking center in the Eurozone. Here are located some of the regional headquarters of companies such as Skype, IKEA, Artec 3D, etc. In 2013, Luxembourg was ranked as the second safest tax haven in the world after Switzerland. In 2010, the Sunday Telegraph reported that $4 billion of the wealth of Kim Jong-il was located in banks in Luxembourg. Amazon also benefits from Luxembourg tax loopholes as they redirect a lot of their revenue from the UK to Luxembourg, as reported by The Guardian in 2012. Nevertheless, the country has one of the best state-funded healthcare in the world. The health service, overseen by Luxembourg's Union of Sickness Funds, ensures high-quality, subsidized, and free healthcare is guaranteed to all residents and long-term inhabitants. The state covers the majority of the treatments provided by GPs and specialists. The patient is initially expected to pay for the fees, which are then revised and decided on annually by the Caisse de Maladie. Vulnerable groups are not obliged to pay any charges, and children, students, and unemployed are covered freely up until the age of 27. Dental and optical treatments are also covered. All employees contribute on average by 5.44% of their salary, which is automatically deducted from their bank account. Their employer is also obliged to pay half of that. Now, let us discuss the people of Luxembourg. The people of Luxembourg are called Luxembourgers. The immigrant population was steadily increasing in the 20th century, with immigrants coming from Belgium, France, Germany, Portugal, and Italy. The Portuguese are quite a predominant part of the immigrant population. In 2013, there were about 88,000 Portuguese living in Luxembourg. In that same year, Luxembourg had a population of about 540,000 inhabitants. The immigrants were comprising 44% of the total population, with the biggest immigrant group being the Portuguese with 16%, followed by the French, the Italians, and the Belgians. The three official languages of Luxembourg are German, French, and Luxembourgish. Luxembourgish is kind of a weird mixture between German and French because it's similar to the High German, but it also has about 4,000 French words. Every citizen has the right to address the administration in one of those three languages and be answered in the corresponding language. According to a 2009 survey, about 99% of the residents of Luxembourg speak French, about 80% speak German and Luxembourgish, and only about 72% speak English. Most official business and written communications are carried out in French, which is also the language mostly used for public communication, with written official statements, advertising displays, and road signs generally being in French. Due to the historical influence of the Napoleonic Code on the legal system of the Grand Duchy, French is also the sole language of the legislation and generally the preferred language of the government, administration, and justice. Although professional life in Luxembourg is largely multilingual, 56% of the private sector business leaders describe French as the predominant language used in their company, whereas only 18% chose English. Despite the multilingual population of Luxembourg, the country was not ranked too high by Expat Insider 2019 in terms of friendliness and ease of settling in. In the first category, the country ranked 31st, and in the second, 34th, very close to the US. So technically, making friends should not be that hard. Now it's time to move to the last segment, culture and entertainment. Now, understandably, Luxembourg has been overshadowed by the culture of its neighbors. However, the country managed to retain a big number of folklore traditions, having been for much of its existence a profoundly rural country. There are several notable museums located mostly in the capital. These include the National Museum of History and Art, NMHA, the Luxembourg City History Museum, and the new Grand Duke Jean Museum of Modern Art. The city of Luxembourg itself is on the UNESCO World Heritage List on account of the historical importance of its fortifications. On the north bank of the Moselle, a number of white and sparkling wines are produced. The country has a winemaking history dating back to the Romans. At the city spa of Mondot-les-Bains, the pace is more relaxed and is visited by many for its healing and therapeutic qualities. Luxembourg hasn't always been known as a nightlife hub, but the scene is growing. The Grand area of town is a hotspot for clubs within the city. The suburb of Hollerie, near the railway station, is also developing into a great spot for nightlife. The two main venues for classical music in Luxembourg are the Philharmonie Concert Hall, home to the Philharmonie de Luxembourg Orchestra, and the Grand Theatre de Luxembourg, with frequent performances of opera and ballet. Some other points of interest might include Casemates du Bois, Place Guillaume and Street Market, Echternach and its Benedictine Abbey, the Luxembourg Ardennes, La Rochette, the Land of Red Rocks. Well, I hope you enjoyed the video and you found it fun and informative. If you did, give me one of those and subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you next time when I will probably talk about Rome, where I have lived for 1 year. So make sure you check that out. I'll see you then.